Okay, so basically, the guideline anytime that we do a shopping day type of thing is, like, initially everybody, most people, it's like, oh, okay, let's see how you eat or how you shop. But that's not the idea behind it. The whole purpose in doing a shopping day is so that I can tell you this is what you should do. Like, these are your rules individually. And even the people that are listening to this on the audio, this is your rules. It's not just a good idea, it's what we should be doing. And really what that boils down to, where you really see that come into play, I was thinking about it on the way here, it's, the medical mantra of, it's the dose that makes the poison. That's what medical doctors say all the time. You see that as a defense constantly. It's a dose that makes the poison. And they use it in the effect of saying that, if you're sick, or you're healthy, whatever, if you use too little, it doesn't do anything. If you use too much, it can kill somebody. But the reality behind it is that's just a stupid argument, because no matter what, you may give a perfectly safe dose to a human, or to an adult, obviously they're human, but you give that same dose to a baby and it kills them. Why? Because poison is poison is poison. So how does that apply here? It's the same thing. It's if you're not supposed to eat something, but you do it anyways, then you're doing it consciously. It's so you can go by it's the dose that makes the poison thing as a reason to continue to eat badly, or you start to change your habits, and just knowing that every time you do it, it's going to put you in the wrong direction, right? So that's a completely different way that most people look at it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start on the one side of the store and just basically zip up the aisles. We're not going to go through the supplement aisles because there's just way too much. We'll hit the coolers and stuff like that, but kind of what I want you guys to see is that while a lot of the stuff here is a lot better than what you're going to get at a typical grocery store, it's also not perfect. We're going to go through here and I'm going to show you that, some of the stuff, it really isn't a whole lot better than what you're going to get in the regular, even though it says natural all over the labels and everything. The reason why is because, wellness in the natural foods market is now like, I think they said something like that. I don't know, billions of dollars. Just billions of dollars in the actual food market. And it's gone up exponentially every year, and they say that's not going to stop anytime soon, that wellness is going to be the next $1 trillion industry. So as that happens, what are you seeing? You're seeing everybody wanting to get their hand in the cookie jar. So you've got, Ruffles potato chips now claiming all natural. You've got soda companies that are now starting to say that they're flavoring their sodas with stevia and xylitol. And all these little marketing tactics that are plugged in there, basically keeping their formula the same and just adding in a sprinkle of stevia or something like that, because most of us don't know any better. So what's the only way you can really get by and be safe? You got to read the labels. Read the labels, get comfortable with the brands that you're looking at, and then stay consistent. Consistent, a lot of people see that as boring, but it's, it is what it is. Food is not for pleasure, food is for fuel. So the more we use it for pleasure, the more we the more we have there to be pleased with. Yeah. So, okay, let's go ahead and start on the other side of the store first, and we'll work our way around. Okay, so we're going to start at the produce, because obviously, this should be the largest section in any grocery store, but the reason why it's smaller here is because, well, let me just ask you guys, why do you think it would be this small here?
Because they don't grow it all the way from California. Baldwin County.
A lot of it you're going to find is fairly local. So why is their stock so small?
Well, it's hard to keep it when it's fresh.
It's hard to keep it when it's fresh, yeah, because it's organic. What's the other reason? Probably even the bigger reason.
Money.
Yeah. It costs more. So of course when it costs more, not as many people put the value on it, so they don't sell as much. So you're not going to throw away any more than you absolutely have to. If you do, you're not going to run a business very long. So that's when more people are eating right, is when you see the organic sections at the grocery stores getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Ultimately, you want to see it happening in the produce department first, because this is what you should be filling yourself with anyways. So another reason why people don't necessarily eat it is, does this, without touching somebody else's food too much, does that look as pretty as the oranges that you find in the stores? No way. It doesn't look nearly as pretty, but it's like your wife after 30 years. It's character, right?
That's right. It's got a mold, is right.
I apologize to anybody listening to this at home. In all seriousness, though, it doesn't look as pretty because it's not grown to look pretty. It's grown to be natural and nutritious. Not all of nature is, 100% perfection, but that's apparently what most people like when they're going into the grocery store. It's got to look good if they're going to put it into their mouth. Why? Because that's what they're used to seeing on TV.
Right.
Yet those same people, how many times have you ever gone through the drive-through at a McDonald's or at Hardee's, and you open up the sandwich and it looks like it does in the picture on the sign? Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I call that a double standard. Really, that's just an excuse not to eat vegetables and fruits, right? So, buy organic as much as you can. Buy local as much as you can, because another issue is always the shelf life factor. It's making sure that you're getting something that's vine ripened, because one fact that a lot of people don't know is that 75% of the nutrients come into the fruit or vegetable in the last 48 hours of vine ripening. So that's a lot of nutrients that you're missing if you pick something while it's still green in Guatemala, ship it all the way across the country weeks ahead of time to get to the grocery store so that it looks nice and pretty for you when you get it. So very, very important. You want to get as much nutrients as you can. I think they did a study, just to put that in perspective with soil depletion, you would have to eat the equivalent of some like 60 plus peaches today to get the same nutritional value that you got back 50 years ago. Which, that's crazy. So, so as much organic as you possibly can. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but the funny thing about that too is, and this goes for everything, that the more that you get out of what you're eating, the more nutrient quantity that you're getting, the less hungry you are. Because what is hunger driven by?
Nutrients.
Need for nutrients. So if you're filling those nutrient needs faster, what do you see with people that eat junk food all day long? They just snack and snack and snack and snack and snack. They just keep on packing stuff in because they're putting all this stuff in, but it's all empty. So their body never fills up. It's like a gas tank with a hole in it. So unfortunately there's no hole in our gas tank. It just kind of stays around. Okay, so basically that's just a rule of thumb with all this stuff. There are some foods, however, that you can do that don't have to be organic as far as produce goes. You have to look the specifics in the Maximize Living Nutrition Plans book. But there's a list of like I think it's called the Clean 15. The ones that you can eat that you don't have to worry about. So next time you're in the office, just flip open a book and look in there and see if you can find it. You guys notice the lettuce? That's the same stuff that we have dropped off. Yeah, it's real good. Okay, moving on. One of the staples that you guys are going to see in health food stores is tons and tons and tons of soy stuff. Like tofu shirataki. I mean, just all kinds of stuff that's made from tofu and soybeans and all that. And I'm not so sure I'm, 100% sold on all that. And the main point that I want to go into with that is you just have to be kind of careful how much of anything that you're taking in too dramatically. But there's a lot of, varying debate going back and forth on soy. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think it's bad for you per se, but I also don't want to eat a ton of it. So I'll drink soy milk in a coffee from Starbucks or something like that, but I'm not going to buy and eat, soy hot dogs with soy cheese on them every day, on a soy bun, and that's like my entire diet. I'm just not going to do it. And, so, I mean, you're going to see a lot of like soy cheeses and all that kind of stuff. And no problem. One thing that we do like, though, is the rice cheeses. Any of the rice cheeses, those are really good, and it's just made from they're made from just brown rice. So organic rice base, rice bran oil, rice starch. So this stuff is pretty good, and it actually tastes decent too.
Does it taste like cheese? I mean, like the regular?
It does, yeah. It's pretty darn close. Now, some of the faux cheeses that you see, the fake cheeses, they don't taste like real cheese, and I don't know if there's any way that you can really confuse them, but some of them just don't taste right. You'll know it when you get it. Now, even as far as regular cheese goes, number one, if you have any like food allergies, or you have any like asthma or allergies of any kind, or respiratory issues, anything like that, eczema, bowel issues, irritable bowel syndrome, anything like that, excessive gas bloating, any of that kind of stuff, the first culprit is cheese. So even if you're buying organic, it doesn't matter. Still get rid of it until you see if that's what's causing it. But if you're going to do regular actual cheese, definitely do organic, but even better, find raw. Because this is still homogenized, it's still pasteurized. So even though it's organic, it's still blasted with heat, has no nutrients in it. You get the point. So you kind of have to be careful there. My wife always comes here every week and gets the Applegate organic smoked chicken breast and turkey breast. All those are really good. They don't use any antibiotics or anything. She has gotten the all beef hot dogs. Why all beef? Well, first of all, they're organic grass-fed beef, which is great. So these are, again, the Applegate brand. So for what I've seen so far, most all of the Applegate brand stuff is good. I think they make bacon too. However, we don't eat anything that's made with pork. So the pepperoni is pork. We don't eat pork. I don't care if it's organic or not. It's not good for you. So next one down, coming to the, looking at mayonnaise. Are you guys mayonnaise fans? Yeah? Okay. If you're going to, oh my, what kind?
What is it called?
Just, oh my goodness. Well,
I've cut back. I used to eat a quart a week.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Okay, well, you probably have half a quart on your arteries. Yeah. The best kind that I would go with, I'm just going to go straight to it, is the grapeseed oil veggies. That's what we buy, between all the different kinds, and they've got a bunch of different kinds here. But I have her get the grapeseed oil veggies. Yeah, there's some more over here, but we'll get to that in just a minute.
A lot of it's got corn, which is I'm allergic to corn.
Yeah.
You have to be real careful now.
Yeah, this is
I saw that.
Yeah, this is pretty basic. It's grapeseed oil, filtered water, brown rice syrup, apple cider vinegar, soy protein, sea salt, mustard flour, and lemon juice concentrate. Now, still, don't eat it by the spoonful. It's still not good enough to where you can eat it out of the jar like ice cream. Did you ever try that, make ice cream out of it?
No,
that's good.
Long enough.
That's good. Didn't make it to the freezer. Yeah. So.
I sit down with a jar of mayonnaise and a box of crackers. I'm happy.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Soy protein, you're going to see that all over here. All over health food stores. Soy protein is everywhere. The one you really want to look out for is soy protein isolate or textured soy protein. That's basically like soy made into cardboard. Okay, moving on. Their butter here is awesome. The roll butter, the unsalted or the salted roll butter, that's actual real butter. I think it's Amish butter. So we get that. I don't think it's, it is pasteurized, but, it's one of the better ones you can get. Another good brand of butter is, besides the Organic Valley, and cheeses, if you're going to go conventional, would be Kerrygold. They actually use, even though it's not organic, they do use grass-fed cattle. So Kerrygold would be like the bridge between regular stuff and organic stuff. Okay? And of course, this is all going to be on the audio, so I know you're taking notes, and that's totally cool, but you'll have it on notes again to listen to. Any kind of goat's milk stuff is always a good way to go. The rice milk stuff is pretty good to go. I love this stuff here. In fact, we don't use anything but the coconut milk creamer now. This So Delicious brand is awesome. We used to kind of mix it up a little bit between like soy creamer and organic half and half, even though I don't like doing any milk at all. That's like all there was. But now that they have the coconut milk creamer, it's awesome. It tastes good, and it mixes in perfectly. So if you're a coffee drinker, that is definitely the way to go. Yeah. The other thing, as far as milk goes, we'll just cover like all the milk, and we pretty much covered all the other dairy stuff. But milk particularly, I find out all the time that a lot of patients are still consuming milk. They're still, they'll like switch over from, for their cereal, switch over. I think you might have even mentioned it to me.
Or switch it off.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people, they're still doing milk, and they think that, well, since we're doing organic, it's better. But again, there's just so many problems with cow's milk, the way that it's produced, that even though it says organic on the label, it's just not good for you. Unless you can get it raw from a local dairy that's unprocessed, unpasteurized, from healthy cows grazing on the field in the sun on healthy grass, it's just, you're at a loss, So what we prefer is the almond milk. We don't actually do the Blue Diamond brand, the almond breeze, I don't think. I don't even know what brand we do. I don't drink a lot of it, but that's what my kids are basically raised on, is almond milk. But get the unsweetened. It's easy to just pick up one of them and not really think about it, but if you look at the back, on the regular, it's got evaporated cane juice as the second ingredient. So it's got 7 grams of sugar in 1 cup. Okay, where if you go to the unsweetened, it doesn't have any sugar in the list of ingredients, and it's got 0 grams in 1 cup. So that's a big, big difference. And, once you get the sugar craving out of your system, it'll go away.
How about the coconut milk, the soy-free, dairy-free coconut milk?
Coconut milk is always awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. I will give you a trick, though. Instead of having a bite out of the carton, that stuff I'm sure tastes amazing. I haven't actually tried it. But what you can do, what I use in like my shakes, is I get just a can of coconut milk, organic coconut milk from... Usually when we go to a Whole Foods, I'll buy like a whole case of it. And then I'll mix 1 can of that in a 2-liter pitcher and put the rest up with filtered water. And then just mix it all up. And so it costs you 99 cents instead of, let's see, $4.69. Yeah. So, and I actually get more in mine. I probably get about twice mine in that. So it saves you about, 90%. Okay, so there's a lot of tricks, you can see how much you can think it costs to eat healthy if you just start doing it. Just start going out and, you put down your cow's milk and come and pick up this stuff instead. Initially, it's gonna seem like, oh my goodness, how can we buy all this stuff? But you start finding tricks as you go, and all of a sudden your costs plummet down. Okay. let's start over on this side. As far as sweeteners go, we can pretty much knock all this out in just a few short rules. Number one, stevia. This new Naturals brand, that's the one that we carry in the office. It's awesome. It's definitely the best of the kind. Have you guys tried this?
We've seen it on TV and stuff.
Well, look at that. They offer free samples. So, for the record, I'm only giving everybody one. Hey there. You just showing up for the heck of it, or did you come?
I didn't know you were here. I was getting a coffee creamer.
Now you're stuck here. Good to see you.
We'll come back when we get back for you.
I was just telling them how good that stuff is.
I like the French vanilla, but my mom likes the hazelnut.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
We keep like 3 of those in the fridge all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good one. Okay.
Just stuff in the orange box.
Yeah, that
In the orange box?
Good corn.
Is it good? Well, I'm sure it's. I mean, we've tried a bunch of different kinds, and a lot of them are really bitter. And it kind of came down to a consensus among the Maximize Living doctors that the stevia, the new Naturals, seem to be the best. But try it out. See, do a taste test. Dab each. Stick them on your tongue.
Corn products in it.
Yeah, maltodextrin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's.
carbs.
Oh, you got. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
get the no carbs.
Are you that allergic to?
When I eat anything that's got corn in it, I'll break out all over the red lips.
Wow. Even a little bit of maltodextrin.
I pick up a cardboard box and break out it because.
Oh my goodness.
Because when they make cardboard, they use corn starch to coat it all together.
Yeah.
I'll break out.
Okay, so after a couple more years of chiropractic and really cleaning out your diet and losing more weight and everything else, try it again and you'll see that allergy is going away. Yeah. I used to be allergic to everything. Everything. I'd be allergic to you. Never mind, I'm still allergic to it. This Truvia stuff here, it's interesting, that I think this, I can't remember who this is made by.
I was thinking.
No, who's it made by? Truvia. I guess it
first came out.
I can't remember. Maybe it's not Truvia. Maybe it's the other one. Is made by the other one that came out at the same time as them. Is made by like either Pepsi or Coke. And I was surprised because I couldn't find anything bad about it. I'm like, there's got to be something bad about it, With agave nectar, we carry agave in the office too. That one's good. It's a low glycemic index, so you can use it as a sweetener in the place of stevia if you don't necessarily like the taste of stevia. With honey, the more that it looks like earwax, the better off it is. Well, depending on whose earwax you're looking at, I guess. But the more that it looks like candle wax, let's put it that way, it should be that light yellow, brown, very opaque color. It shouldn't be this golden liquidy color like you see in most of the stores, because that comes from a lot of the processing and everything. I mean, if you look at nutritional value, you definitely get a lot more in this really raw honey, because it's like everything all in there. So I definitely recommend that stuff. That stuff you can eat with a spoon. It's good.
I'm sorry. You go first.
Isn't it true with honey? Isn't it best to get it from a local area?
Local, definitely. Yeah.
Because I get mine from a beekeeper down in Irvington, but his bees died, so I have to find another beekeeper. But
oh my goodness.
Mine looked like that.
Isn't that horrible?
Bees
are just dying all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bee populations they've been disappearing for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting scary.
Like that, even from him.
Yeah. A lot of that comes down to the processing and everything too. So,
So I need to tell him I need to come.
Yeah, tell him just pick out the whole comb and just stick it in a box for you without the bees.
Okay. Because I love chewing honey. I'll take the honey home.
Yeah.
Fly there and
getting the wax and all. Yeah.
This is ours is it's clear, but it's not cloud. I mean, it's cloudy. But it's not, it doesn't look like that where it's super clear. If it's cloudy, but it's got
I
plenty
think he's
of,
trying to funny.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. We'll let him get to the honey.
got plenty of honeycomb, man. Those big old chunks of honeycomb, man.
Yeah. So, now you were going to ask one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I get mine from a local person.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely better to get it local because the local flowers actually help with local allergies. That's kind of the main reason. All your grains and flowers and everything, I'll tell you, I don't know if she gets it here, but she's been getting some. I don't see it here, but my wife's been getting some kind of flour that she's been. It's a rice flour that she's made pancakes with and biscuits with and everything else, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if you email me, I'll let you know what the name of that is.
Sweet white rice flour.
Yeah, it comes in a big bag like this though. Basic rule of thumb though, any of your grains, if you're going to do grains, if you're not on the advanced diet, do organic, because they, of course, grains require a lot of pesticides, to do conventionally. Next thing, peanut butters. I'm going to slide over this side. With peanut butters, you see even Jif is now, marketing all natural peanut butter and everything again, just jumping on that bandwagon. But you want to find the stuff that is, of course, organic. You want to find stuff that basically separates, means that it's the least processed. You should see the oil sitting on the top like that. A cool thing to do though, because this oil is very high in omega-6 fatty acids, what you can do is you can take that oil and pour it off and put something like flax oil or olive oil on top of it instead and mix that in instead, and it'll balance out the ratio a little bit better. It's just kind of a neat little trick, and it doesn't actually change the taste at all. It's just the way that it's processed. But yeah, the more organic, of course, the better.
Have you tried that new Nutella? What was it called? The chocolate peanut butter?
That's not new. Yeah, that's not new.
We had it when we were overseas back in the 70s. It's new here, I think. But
they used to actually have it here, and it looks like they actually changed to this brand. Chocolate hazelnut butter.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's basically chocolate hazelnut butter. But see, now, even with this kind of stuff, you got to look at the ingredients, because like this has organic non-hydrogenated palm oil, but I got a question the other week about, what about fractionated palm oil? Is that bad for you? And looked it up on Google real quick, and sure enough, you find out that they use petroleum byproducts to separate it and to process it. So yeah, it's not so good for you. With salts, the Himalaya sea salt, rock salt, is really good, and you want to make a really, really good hamburger, especially with the grass-fed beef that we have from the office. Take some rock salt, and not a lot of it, but put some pretty coarse salt on the top of it. Oh man, it's wonderful. And just a side note too, people have been freaked out for years and years. It just keeps on circulating that salt, that you should avoid salt if you have heart disease and blood pressure problems. Yet there was a large-scale study done that showed that there really isn't a strong correlation there, that they're not really sure why it just keeps on, going around and around out there, other than it's almost urban legend now, but it's not really functional. So, but that also doesn't mean you should go and start dumping iodized salts on everything, But rock salt is definitely good for you. I mean, after all, if salt was bad for you, wouldn't all the fish have high blood pressure? Those poor king mackerel. Okay, spices, all that stuff. We're not going to bother with that. Let's hit up the oils. With oil, by far the best oil to use is coconut oil. I mean, no doubt you want to stick with coconut oil. Organic coconut oil is the best. This is just a funny side note, but when you see how a lot of these say extra virgin, If you go to, I think it's on tropicaltraditions.com, they're one of the first ones to do non-processed coconut oil. They actually, it's kind of like a picking point for them. They show how there's no such thing as extra virgin. That they just rip that off from olive oils to make it look like it's a better product than just virgin. So there's no real such thing. If you're going to do olive oil, here's a rule of thumb. Number 1, make it organic. Number 2, don't cook on high heat with it. You have to at most cook it at low heat, or else it starts turning rancid just like anything else. Okay. So outside of that, most of the other oils we just kind of steer clear from, unless it's like like sesame oil might be called for in a recipe. So we've got some sesame oil up there, but we don't use it very often. Apple cider vinegar, really good for salad dressing. If you guys, basically the salad dressings that we've made for, I'd say, the last 2 years. Seriously, there might be a couple exceptions here and there, but for the most part, it's been about 2/3 olive oil, and the other third is a mix of straight or a mix of organic balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar, white wine vinegar, or red wine vinegar. And pretty much that's all we do is we just switch back and forth, and just mix it up a little bit, but nothing else. Maybe some lemon juice, in there from time to time. But outside of that, that's the only salad dressing that we've eaten for years. Outside of that, what about ketchup? Notice I just walked straight past ketchup. You can tell I don't like it. My wife buys the organic ketchup because it's got no sugar added. So I'm, of course, one of the things that people go for is sugar. Now, that one's made with agave nectar instead, which is definitely a much better option. Yeah, so I would definitely stick to that. Say that again.
I'm bad with mayonnaise, you're bad with ketchup.
Oh, yeah? Regular ketchup, that stuff is like pure high fructose corn syrup.
It is,
It's red sugar.
That's why I got to work. See, I didn't know about this, but I think Wisconsin came out with a no high fructose corn. They took the corn syrup out of it.
Yeah.
And that's the only ketchup I can eat.
Yeah. We'll switch to that, and you can pick it up on your way out. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Okay. If you guys are going to get any cereals at all, this is definitely the place to get them because they've got a lot of the gluten-free cereals, and we pretty much tried every single one of them. Because one of the main places that you're going to get a lot of your wheat in your diet is at breakfast. So if you can do gluten-free, now you'd have to be careful because a lot of the gluten-free ones are made with corn instead.
Right.
But there are a number of them that are made with rice instead. So you'll see that they're actually made with brown rice. Those are the ones that you'd want to stick to more than anything. So we try, as a general rule, to try and stay gluten-free as much as possible because gluten is an allergen. We're not 100%, but we do try to stay as close as possible. All right.
Question.
Sure.
Pastry flour.
Say that again.
Whole wheat pastry flour.
Whole wheat pastry flour. Where do you get it?
Do you have it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually work here. I'm just teaching in class here. If they do have flours, it's right over on the other side. Really? Bummer. Oh, you know what? I think that's the stuff. You know what? If you want something better than whole wheat, that stuff right there, it has to be. Bummer. Because that stuff is amazing. Okay. You can even get away somewhat with some cookies. You'll be excited about this one. Don't bother touching those. Those things are nasty. Those things wrapped in seaweed. Ugh. My wife bought some of those. I think Jalen wanted to try them, and I put one in my mouth, and it came right back out. It tasted like hard sushi. These gluten-free cookies, like the arrowroot cookies, those things are really good. There's like some snickerdoodle cookies and ginger cookies and stuff like that that are good. That if you're gonna have a cookie or a sweet, that would be definitely the way to go than your typical variety. So any of these nut thins, those are great. If you're looking for a cracker, they're made with nuts instead of wheat, like your typical cracker. This stuff here, the gluten-free, let's see, this is Pamela's products, wheat-free and gluten-free bread mix and flour blend. This is the stuff that my wife has made the biscuits and pancakes out of. She said she made pancakes with it, and I'm like, when did you do that? She said that was Wednesday when I was stuck in bed the entire day. So I'm like, great, you made pancakes when I was sick. Wonderful. But that stuff is very, very good. We'll hit down at this end and then we'll just move down there. More organic cereals and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're pretty safe with all this stuff if you're getting away from conventional cereals. I mean, if you're going to go if you're going to go as far as you can, stick to rice, stick to gluten-free. But at least if you're going, the health food store route with cereal, you're going to be doing a lot better than Fruit Loops and Cheerios.
What about the oatmeal? So you get better than Quaker Oats?
Than Quaker Oats, yes, because Quaker aren't going to be organic. The Bob's Red Mill stuff is really good, but I think we'll look when we get back there, but I think in their organic food bins they actually have organic oats, and that's what we buy. Oatmeal is awesome. Unless you're on the advanced side, of course. Okay, pastas. I get a lot of questions about pastas. Any of these down here, these brown rice pastas, are awesome. Any of the organic gluten-free stuff. This is, what brand is this? Tinkyada Pasta Joy Ready. Tinkyada, Tinkyada. So any of those pastas are really, really good. And the best part about it, these ones here, these quinoa pastas, we tried those before, and they're really hard to cook right. Like, they'll turn to mush really quick. At least when we tried them, unless they've changed something about them. But the brown rice pasta, it cooks right every time. I mean, it tastes just like regular pasta, so you don't have to...
That's what we get in at the grocery store, the brown.
Is it? Okay, yeah. That's good, because, I mean, it stinks when you try to buy a healthier, alternative pasta, and it, turns to mush.
You tell me you're talking about spaghetti, you ever tried the spaghetti squash?
Yeah.
That makes a good spaghetti, too.
Yeah, that definitely changes the taste of it, though.
Not really. I like it.
I like it. It's definitely good stuff. We usually just buy it and just make spaghetti squash as just a side. It's good. You guys ever had spaghetti squash? There's something to try. With your almond milks, Pacific is actually the brand that my wife buys now, and I see it. But yeah, again, you want to stick to almond milk is what I would stick to, because there's less problems with almond milk than any of the rest of them. Juices, a lot of people buy juice for their kids thinking that it's good, but there is a lot of sugar in juice that kids just don't need. But, like this R.W. Knudsen brand is pretty good. They've got, it's all organic. They don't add any sugar or anything like that. So it's a lot more like the real stuff. So, of course, it's going to be a lot more tart than your juice that you're going to find in the store that's just nothing but sweet. Okay, next one. Let's come back over here. Okay, a lot more cookies. Okay, so with cookies again, here's the big thing. You're going to see, even as you're going through, and we're really going to see this when we look at the sodas and juices and stuff like that, the drinks, is that even though you're shopping in a health food store, you're still going to see sugar all over the place. So you've got to read the food labels, because when you add it all up, it still adds up to a lot, even if it's not high fructose corn syrup. So still kind of watch that and keep, if you pick up two products and compare, when you're looking at which one to buy, look and see which one's the better of the two, Okay, with soups and all that kind of stuff, one thing that I don't know that any of these companies have dealt with yet, but I did just read a recent report that one of the largest sources outside of plastic for plastic containers for BPA is in cans. Because of the canning process, they used BPA plastic as the seal. Yeah, I didn't either. So that's good to know. So might be a good idea to kind of lay low on soup for a while.
Sodium contents are high in too.
Yeah.
Because the preservatives.
Yeah, which is bad for our heart. Right. Of course, he is smiling. He knows we just went over this. Okay, pasta sauces. You gotta really watch with pasta sauces, because even though it should be a simple thing, tomatoes and spices, pretty much all of them, they add in sugar. So always look at your labels on pasta sauces and make sure that you're getting as little sugar as possible, none if possible. And if you're really feeling ambitious, make your own.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we're good through the rest of this stuff here. So let's head back down this way. Chips, we'll hit those real quick. With any kind of chips, you just have to watch what it's being cooked in. They'll have all kinds of gimmicks like, they're cooked in peanut oil, so they're better or anything like that. But if you pick up a chip and it's visibly greasy, then I don't care what the oil is, it's still not going to be that good inside of you. And same thing, that's one of the biggest areas that you get a lot of corn in your diet too. So if you're going to do chips, like these rice chips down here, the Lundberg brand, those ones are really good. We do those. We do the nut thins. We do at Sam's Club, they have gluten-free crackers that I think are made from rice, but they're really good too. We occasionally get those avocado oil chips down there. I'm yet to see coconut oil chips. Those would be obviously ideal, but they'd be more expensive. And everybody likes rice cakes, right? That's actually, I actually ate a rice cake. That was one of the first things that I ate while I was sick, because it's one of the few things I actually felt like eating. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for that stuff. So let's hit the frozen sections here, and we'll be done. Okay, skip the water. Moving on to this stuff. I just want to show you like the sugar contents in some of these things. Like, let's see, Tazo. If you pick up a Tazo tea, it's in a health food store and everything, yet, second ingredient is cane sugar. It's got 8 grams of sugar, and it's got two per container, so that's 16 grams of sugar, so it's still got a reasonable amount of sugar in it, this one here, the Steez brand, my wife loves this stuff when she does get it, but it's got 10 grams of sugar and there's 2, so that's 20 grams of sugar in one can. So you still have to kind of keep an eye on that kind of stuff, but just read your labels, check out that kind of stuff. These ones here, these are absolutely delicious, by the way. The Virgil's cream sodas and stuff. They're very simple. If you're going to treat yourself occasionally it's just carbonated water, unbleached cane sugar, caramelized unrefined cane sugar, vanilla extract. That's it. What do you get?
Ginger snap up.
Oh, ginger. But you look at it, it's got 42 grams of sugar. So that's as much sugar as basically a Coke. but it's cane sugar, right? So, I mean, if you're going to treat yourself to something once in a while, I'm not going to say it's evil to treat yourself to one once in a while, but you can't live off those things every day. Now, on your way out, I'll buy everybody a can of the Zevia. Have you guys tried those? No? Okay. Well, grab a flavor, whatever you want. Yeah. You can't do carbonated?
No, carbonation is what causes my frequent. Well, I used to drink 2 or 3 cups a day.
What can you drink? And I'll
Juice and water.
These are really good too. See, well, pick yourself something out, and I'll get you something instead. But the Zevia, it's just carbonated water, erythritol, stevia, and then a bunch of actual oil extracts as the flavoring. So I absolutely love this stuff. I mean, it's got no sugar in it whatsoever. So I have found nothing wrong with it. This stuff is amazing, but it is carbonated, so.
Yeah, we had to watch. We didn't realize that when they first told him, and he started drinking water, and I have to be careful because some of those are carbonated.
Yeah, like Perrier. I wonder they add sugar into this stuff. This stuff is really good. Yeah, they do. See, I mean, they add sugar into everything. That's got 13 grams per serving in it. Do you guys want one?
What's the best?
I like the root beer. It tastes just like Barks or Mug or any of the other ones.
Does that bite like Barks?
Without the dog, yes. The black cherry is also really good.
Cherry, would you get me one of the root beers?
What's the root beer?
Right. Here's the deal, though. You got to hold mine until we're done. Just in case I need to pick something else up. Okay, so going through any of this other stuff, like any of these burgers and all that kind of deal, like the soy burgers and tofu burgers and all that kind of stuff, we don't really touch a lot of that stuff because it is the textured soy protein. So any of the the pre-made dinners, like whole dinners, we don't do a whole lot of that stuff. It's better if you're making it fresh, even from natural ingredients.
We might do that. Look at the pizza with the rice crust. We could probably do that better than just a regular.
Pizzas are actually really easy to make on your own too. I mean, like try that brown rice dough that I showed you, and make your crust out of that. And then you can use the rice cheese. That's what we use, or goat cheese. We most of the time when we make pizza, we just use goat cheese crumbled across it.
Isn't that goat cheese a real kind of what you see a lot of Mexican restaurants use? That real
No, not Mexican restaurants. I don't know what theirs comes from, but it's the real crumbly, very crumbly cheese. It doesn't hold together because it's the casein in the cow's milk that makes it stringy like that. That casein is what they use to put labels on beer bottles. They get it from cow's milk. Yeah. As far as breads go, you can get some good ones like the millet bread is pretty good. The Rudy's breads are good. They're gluten free. If you're going to do bread, you definitely try to stay as gluten free with that kind of stuff as possible. My wife usually gets the millet bread for our boys to eat sandwiches and stuff. Okay, next one. I think over here they do have organic rolled oats, and they're only $1.15 a pound, which is amazing. So you can, and if you've never tried them, try the steel cut oats too. It's totally a different experience. Like, they take longer to cook. Like, you have to you take the oats and you have to soak them in water overnight for like 8 hours, and then once they've soaked all night, then you cook them the next morning. But they plump up a little bit thicker, and they just taste different. They're a little more hearty than your regular variety. Okay, and last section over here. Of course, anytime you're looking at frozen vegetables, I mean, frozen is better than canned, even if you're buying conventional. But if you have the option of buying organic frozen, then definitely go that route too. Of course, what's the way of doing better than frozen? Fresh, local. Now here's an interesting question though. Which one would be better to get, frozen organic or Guatemala shipped in organic? Probably frozen. Yeah, because they're going to wait until it's ripe before they pick it. How would it look if they picked a bunch of unripe blueberries and quickly froze them and put them in a bag and you picked them up in your grocery store? You'd be ticked off.
I grew up in Central Florida, and Daddy always, half the time worked in the orange grove, and that was one thing, they always picked the oranges when they were still green and put them in the package. And they would ripen up there, and then they'd ship, and we wouldn't eat them because they weren't fresh.
Oh, that's an awesome story. Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately you miss most of the nutrient quality when that happens. All right, come on down this way. Bacon, they do make turkey bacon, just so you guys know. So you don't have to do pork.
Now see, that's what we make the pizzas out of, the steel shapes.
Yeah, that works.
Just a quickie.
Yeah.
Definitely. They have turkey hot dogs, the Applegate Farms ones down here. Yeah, I mean, with
beef burgers.
pretty much now we're just looking at meats and stuff. And I mean, for the most part, you just want to stick to, if it's poultry, free range. Make sure that it's free range. It's not living in a cage. The second thing would probably be making sure that it's organic. I would do free range even over organic, honestly. And then the other thing with beef, is obviously you want both organic and grass fed.
Now, free range, without knowing where the particular farm is, how do you know it's free range? Now, somebody told me, and I don't know this for a fact, but they said in the chicken houses that they sometimes have let them out and you go and then run them back in, so they can get that word free range.
And I'm sure some people will do that. Yeah, because people are that crooked. But I mean, for the most part, that's why you want to buy companies. You want to know the companies and trust the companies. So check your sources. Get on Applegate's website, and check them out. See what they're all about. You may get on somebody's website and you don't see anything on there about taking any pride in. I mean, they don't even have their word grass-fed anywhere on there, or free range anywhere on there. So they're just using it as a marketing tactic to get it in your hands, because most people won't look. They'll just buy it and say, "Oh, there you go," and I saved 60 cents by not buying the Applegate. So it's just a labeling issue. Okay, and oh, look at that! Perfect. We finished with ice cream. Pardon me, sir. This will be real easy. The only kind of ice cream we will buy now is the coconut stuff. This organic coconut ice cream is amazing. I mean, we eat a lot of coconut. I recognize that very clearly. We eat tons of coconut. So coconut ice cream is definitely the best route to go. But nonetheless, if you look at the label, you're still going to see 12 grams with 4 servings per container. So basically, you get 12 grams of sugar per spoonful. So, you still gotta use that as kind of a treat. Where I've had patients that have said when they gave up eating ice cream, they used to eat a bowl every single night, like a full bowl every single night, or half a carton. And it's like,
they'd be good to sit down and eat one of those like that now.
Yeah.
Eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we look at that and it's like, that little size, like, yeah, that's the appetizer, right? That's a taste tester. Okay, and then just a side note for you guys real quick. I always, when I come here, I always come over and check out this sale item section, because a lot of times they have stuff marked down 50%, and there's some good stuff over there, because they all the time are going through in pulling stuff off the shelves, and stuff that a lot of people would never buy. It's actually very healthy stuff, and it'll end up over there. So keep your eyes on it. One thing that we didn't necessarily cover that I do see over there is coffee. Make sure that if you drink coffee, you buy organic. Don't go anything other than organic on a regular basis, and especially not like Folgers or one of those other brands, because they're just incredibly high in pesticides and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Coffee crops are the highest pesticide crops grown. So you definitely want organic.
Yeah. Because I only drank 3 pots a day. I need one.
Yeah. All right.
What about the Whole Foods store that you were talking about?
The closest Whole Foods is only in New Orleans. So it's a ways away. There's also one up in Birmingham. But
New Orleans is closer.
New Orleans closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
3 hours. You want 4 or 5 Birmingham?
pretty much every time we go out of town, we always look for the nearest Whole Foods. Like, we'll actually look that up on the map before we go. Sometimes we even pick our hotel around where the Whole Foods is. We're that serious about it. So, all right.
Dried fruits.
Dried fruits? Pretty much. I mean, I'm good with all the dried fruits. Organic would be better. And then the other thing you have to look for is a lot of them they coat in crystallized sugar. So try to get the stuff that doesn't add sugar to it, and that's hard to find. Unless sometimes at a health food store you're going to be able to get it. I'm curious. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, see, even in a health food store, second ingredient is sugar.
Yeah, you can see it on there.
Yep.
Because I got some cranberries up there that didn't look like that and stuff.
Yeah, so
the dry sauce.
You just kind of want to look at that, and like apricots aren't going to have sugar on them. Yeah, that's just organic apricots. So some of the ones you're going to be okay with, but if they look like they're crystallized in sugar, they usually are.
Yeah, so there's some stuff like the apricots, when they dry up and dry, and they can be more sweet, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, last side note, before we wrap up the audio, they want to make sure that I'll let you guys know that they have every Sunday, they have their nutritional products, everything in the stores, I think 10% off of nutritional supplements, not food and stuff like that, but and then I also found out something that's pretty interesting that is relevant to everybody, is that we just became aware that we're not required to charge sales tax on vitamins that we sell, because they're prescribed, because they're sold by me, because I'm recommending them to you. It's counted as a prescription. You don't have to pay sales tax on it. So the cost of all your supplements buying from our office just went down by 10%.
Can I ask? Who told you that?
Who told you that?
Somebody from the sales.
It was actually our state board. Yeah, we got it straight from our state board.
Get it in writing.
Yeah.
When they come,
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah,
they said
I'll find out Monday. That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I work for sales tax. That's the first I've heard that.
Yeah. It's.
Because it would be like salad.
I haven't known that. I've been in practice for 6 years and I didn't know that. I don't know if it's a new rule.
And then, because the vitamins and things, yes, okay, Dr. Mike is telling us to take these. That's a prescription. Why can't I write it off on my taxes?
You got it.
So that was my next question.
Yeah.
Start putting the income tax together.
Yeah. So, pretty wild stuff.
You can count the charges. Okay. But I didn't know about them. Let's check that into that and find out.
Yeah,
No, that was my
it's right in the code.
thing.
I actually, when I cut my sales tax payment in half this month, I sent a letter in each of the envelopes to the city, the county, and the state that had the code written in there for them, so that they didn't question it.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Well, guys, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the audio, and everybody, if this is for anybody listening, if you missed anything, don't email me right away. Go back and listen to it again before you email me. And then if you still have a question, go ahead and email me. So, love you guys.